Welcome, everybody. We are live on the Phenomenonormal podcast. Tonight's subject is the Matrix. Is it conspiracy or fact? I'm your host for tonight, Aaron, and we are joined by our co-host, Josh.
Hello.
So please remember, we go live every other Tuesday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. US time and 10 p.m. UK time. All podcasts will eventually be uploaded to YouTube shortly after, so don't forget to follow us on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube if you miss any of the show and you want to catch up. I'm your host today, Aaron. This is my co-host tonight, Josh, as I said, and that's not supposed to be there. That's a script. Messed up already. Okay. I'd like to remind everyone we do have a Discord where you can join and discuss topics with us, share your experiences, and even participate in our discussions. It's relatively new and we're still working out the quirks, but hopefully with enough time it'll be a wonderful place to be with all of you in there with us. Also, important to note, we are running a two-part special on Halloween, where we'll be discussing ghost stories earlier in the day, our personal experiences, stories we've heard. I've got some stories from my mum, and that will be at 12 p.m. US time, which is 5 p.m. UK time, and you do not want to miss it. And later on in the evening, at the usual time, at 10 p.m. UK time and 5 p.m. US Eastern, we will be having the official show, where we will be discussing the paranormal itself. You do not want to miss that, guys. Make sure you show up. Feel free to come in, have a conversation with us. Tell us your ghost stories. Do you believe in ghosts? Let us know. Anything else you want to add, Josh?
Just want to add in for the special. It will not be uploaded onto YouTube. The normal podcast will, the 5 o'clock one for US time, that will be uploaded on YouTube, but the special will not be. So if you are not watching on Twitch, you will miss out.
Yes, so make sure you show up while we are live. I'm really looking forward to that discussion. How about you?
I'm stoked for it. And we'll also be playing a little bit of Phasmophobia, so if you are in the Discord and you want to come join us, then by all means.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned today, the subject is the Matrix. You know, is it conspiracy or is it fact? See, there's many people that have a theory that ever since, like, people read, like, the book for The Matrix or saw the movies, people have been speculating, are we actually in a simulation? Even Elon Musk says there's a tiny % chance that we could be in one. Which is something that somebody super smart and makes all these crazy inventions thinks could be a possibility. So, like I said, a lot of people do believe in this. He doesn't necessarily believe we are, but he thinks there's a chance we could be. But it just adds credence to the fact that even he can't say for sure, even with all these crazy technologies and stuff he's working on. So when we look at real life, you know, day-to-day life, where you're looking around, what you feel, what you touch, what you sense, we're at a point where, obviously, we are adapted to that because, you know, we've lived throughout life, you know, you're growing up inside of all the buildings and all that. But it comes a point where technology is able to perfectly emulate real life in terms of pictures. I could put a picture up to the side and put a picture in that's been in one of the most highest rendered games, and you would barely even be able to tell us a difference. So at what point does our technology become so good we can perfectly emulate real life images in video games, movies, anime, VR? Like, how do you tell the difference between this reality and that reality if it looks exactly the same?
I think it would, if we were in a, I guess almost like a virtual reality or like a computer type simulation matrix type thing, right? It would require a lot of bandwidth and power, a lot. Something so significant, something on a scale that we have no concept on how big it would be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, with space and everything and where we're able to go to already, within our own solar system even, and beyond with our probes and our satellites out there. The amount of rendering that would take is astronomical to the point where I don't think we're in a computer simulation or a matrix. It would just require so much power to produce all that it's like even if you harness the power of the sun, you would need more.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. I think you would need more than what the power of the sun could even put out.
Yeah.
And if we were in a simulation, the sun's part of that simulation. So
Right.
I mean, like it requires so much. Um,
I think. Mm,
but I mean,
I think
we
what.
could discuss the possibilities as if we were one in one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm only saying that in the sense of, it will become a point where we can image for image. Now, the issue that we have is even if you have a VR headset, you still feel everything around you. You kind of lose your perception a little bit, where things are in your room. Sometimes you'll bump into things, so you need to make sure you have lots of room. But you can feel everything. You smell, you still taste, you can talk into the headset. You feel all that. The problem is with a simulation is even if we did get to the point we could perfectly emulate reality itself in a video game, we would still not be able to shut off the human senses. So you'd never be able to fully confuse somebody unless somebody figured a way to suppress them while you're in that virtual reality. And considering we're growing all the time, the amount of energy we would need constantly increasing, because it's got to produce enough essential code messages, essentially, to keep generating new programs for all of us that are being created. And the power, like Josh said, would be astronomically ridiculous. We could never quantify that. How much power they would actually
So
need,
look,
considering how power works in our
I'm not
world.
some genius when it comes to stuff, but I do know how to build PCs, and I do know
Hmm.
capabilities of graphics cards and things like that such, right? Um,
Yeah.
I'm not very intelligent when it comes to software, but when it comes to hardware of computers, I'm 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 pretty good at it. I will say,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at building computers, and I'm pretty good at knowing the hardware of it and their capabilities. And
Hmm.
our best graphics cards today, right? They can output some amazing rendering and graphics, to
Oh
where
yeah.
it looks almost real, but there's a limitation still to them.
Oh yeah. Of
Like
course.
you can't have an open world game such as like say like Star Citizen or something, right? Um, but even that game, like there's some cartoonish looking features in it, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's an open world game where there's no loading screen. So
Right.
I haven't played it. That's what I've been told. All right, I'm going with that. Right. So think of an open world game with no loading screens whatsoever, with next to realistic graphics. That's what we're talking about here, and none of our graphics cards today can do something of that such.
Oh no, definitely
It's
not.
impossible. I mean, look, are we getting better technology every day? Yeah, absolutely. Will we get there one day? Possibly. It's going to be far, far in the future from now. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
gamers think we're going to get this stuff by like I don't know, 2030, and I'm like that's just not going to happen.
It's not gonna
I was
happen.
like, that's not going to happen. I was like, you're looking maybe like long after we're dead, that might happen.
I We will never be on the level of Ready Player One anytime soon. That's the ideal fantasy, right, that people have.
Yeah.
I get to go into the game world, I get to be a part of it, and I get to play games, and there's all these games that I can play. It's never going to be on that level where you're fully dived in, essentially. You're not aware of what's happening to your body outside, really, that much. Um, but you can feel and touch and interact and stuff like that. We're never going to get on that level where it completely shuts off your human senses in the outside world.
Well, I won't say we'll never get it, but it's gonna
Not
be.
anytime soon, is what I mean.
Yeah, we're gonna be long dead by the time that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just I don't think it's feasible in today's world.
Oh, no.
And for us to think that we're in some sort of simulation, again, you would need something. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. Like you said, what Elon Musk said. Yeah, there's a percentage that we are, but it's a small percentage. You're talking about some sort of beings that have been controlling us this whole time that are just that much more advanced. I mean, it's possibility.
Yeah.
I don't think it's feasible or and practical. I mean, what would be the purpose? Yeah, like
No,
there's no real
yeah,
purpose to that.
either there's a purpose to keeping us in a simulation, which I can't think of what on earth it could be. Why are they so
The
desperate for us to be
the
in this
only
simulation?
the only purpose I could think of, there's two purposes I could think of, right? Number one,
I've got to play with its
well,
creations
sorry,
and
I'll
see
say
what they do.
the second one is a video game. We're just a video game
Right,
to whatever, and I more like a sit back and watch kind of video game. You know, like they just
yeah,
watch us, they observe us.
right.
Number two, they're observing us to see how we behave to maybe, develop behavioral patterns for their species.
Or discover possible new. Um, I mean, there's been games that have messed around with viruses and stuff like that. And some of these have actually,
You know what?
realistically, there's actually a story have actually helped
Uh,
people figure out how
I
viruses
would say
work and
number
be able to
three.
cure some.
Number three, right? This whole
Mm.
universe, everything that we're in, right? Rick and Morty might have hit it spot on. Honestly, maybe we're just a power source. We generate
It
power
might
here
be.
on Earth, and maybe some of that power gets diverted elsewhere.
Mm. I mean, we're all electrical beings. We have electricity running through our body, just like a computer does, which is weird to fathom. Like we have electric just running through our body, like we are some kind of robot, but yet we're flesh and blood. Um,
Yeah, so
that's just it's
you
weird
know,
because our
we
brain's
could be
like a
some sort of
mini
power source
computer.
as well. So I mean,
Could
it's
be,
a possibility as well.
yeah.
Um,
I
who
mean,
knows?
it could
But
just be somebody that's made a creation. Like imagine what some gamers do. They create a world and they just see what happens. How do the players interact with the world? What do they do?
I mean, that's basically what The
Um,
Sims is.
it's basically The Sims, yeah. But that could be another reason why they're doing it. They might just be creating a creation, just seeing how we, with all these laws and things put in place that keep us bound to the simulation, see how we act, how we behave, what becomes of ourselves, and just lets us just happen, just for studying purposes, maybe or something. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all kind of always in something bigger than ourselves, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
Like, for example, we have microorganisms, and our world is completely different to theirs. You know, but they're tiny on our body. We're essentially like organisms on the Earth. Essentially, we're Earth's organisms. Earth is like an organism of space, so to speak, and then goodness knows what's beyond that. You know, um, there's always something bigger that we tend to be a part of, but I really don't think it's simulation based. I don't think we are in one.
So what's your basis though? Like, why do you think we're not though overall? Like, why would you think that we're not?
See, if you take a look at Sims, you literally control everything your character does.
Right.
I
Well,
doubt, I doubt
yes and
aliens
no.
having
There is a free will.
a little bit to them. If you
Well,
leave
no,
them
no, no.
on their own,
There's an actual button that you can press that gives your character free will.
yeah,
Essentially, they just do whatever they want. You can still tell them what to go do, but they'll go
yeah,
do whatever they want. So they'll
right.
feed themselves. They'll sleep when they want to sleep. They make relationships on their own. Everything.
But I don't feel like somebody's making me decide. Oh, I need to pick up this camera right now, have a little sip. You know, I need to go to the store today. I don't think somebody's
So
clicking on me and going, "Oh, do this" or
I've
whatever.
had moments where I felt like that,
Mm,
and it's not so much that like I'm being told to go do something like that. It's more like I was gonna go to the fridge to go get something to eat, and then I'll walk out into the kitchen, and it's like I forgot what I went out to the kitchen for. It almost
right,
as like someone like clicked off the box saying, "Hey, don't get something to eat
right, yeah.
instead."
I get what you
You
mean.
know,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Like what happens with The Sims? You put a task for them and you delete it, and they're just like, "Huh?
yeah, yeah, and they're
What
just
was I doing?"
confused. You know, like they look confused,
Yeah.
and that's I've had those situations, so I'm like maybe, you know. So I
I
don't know.
mean,
There's certain situations like that.
mm. I mean, there's one theory that, we some people, whether you believe in fate or not, it is weird how sometimes you can hear about something, then you'll start hearing about it everywhere. Not necessarily through, suggestion from, you know, these algorithms and whatnot. I'm talking about. So you watch a guy's video and he's talking about something. I don't know. Let's just say he's talking about ships, a famous ship or something like that.
Right.
And then you'll go in another YouTuber's video or something who's on a completely different game, and they'll mention it. Almost like it's just weird how sometimes things seem like they're connected by fate. Like, how is it that this has happened? This is beyond coincidence. That I keep coming across people talking about the same topic all the time. All of a sudden, and then people also think that, well, when we see in our future, what if we're actually seeing what we're supposed to do, and technically that's telling us what we're supposed to do, something to deal with that situation. And that's deja vu. Is you being coded this message, you've dreamt about it, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do what that says now, and I know I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did in my dream or whatever when it actually happens to you.
Right, right.
And like how you mentioned when you had the dream about you supposedly being in a car crash, and then you made the decision not to drink. Could it have been that you got something coded in, like, oh, this is what you're going to have to deal with soon, and you got a glimpse of that code so you can make a different decision and avoid the outcome?
Yeah. Sorry,
Some people
we're having some audio issue. I'm trying to figure this out right now for you guys. For some reason, my microphone is picking up like a ton of background sound. So I am trying to fix that. I'll let Aaron continue on talking while I try and fix this. I'll be back though.
Yeah. Forgot what I was mentioning. Oh yeah. So people say that the reason why you get deja vu is because of that. They always try and rationalize it by us in some way getting some kind of order from a computer or intelligent life. We're stuck in this machine, doing as we're told. It's a bit far-fetched, in my opinion. Now, if we were in a simulation, though, the interesting part would be seeing where the simulation takes us. Is there an end goal for the simulation? Could it be that the so-called Judgment Day that's predicted in, say, some religions could be our creators one day deciding to put an end to the simulation, so to speak? There's so many ways it could be part of a simulation because you could apply it to everything. But if we were, that's kind of crazy that our creators would make us just to destroy us. And what would be the purpose behind that then? It just opens so many questions. But I don't know. I don't see us being harvested by machines for power like the Matrix portrays. I don't feel like we are in some kind of simulation where somebody's controlling us, making us do what we do, and playing us like a Sims game. I just can't believe that. The most plausible way it could only be is if they are observing us for some reason and seeing what we do. Possibly a god, so to speak.
Am I able to be heard now?
Toys. Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, cool. I think we fixed the audio issue on my end here.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. All right, so I heard everything you said. I was with you the whole way there. I just had to fix my mic here and
Yeah,
figured
no
this
worries.
out. I was having a lot of feedback, and now I think I'm back to being good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I again I don't think we are in one either. It's just there's it would just require way too much power.
Yeah. I mean, they constantly have to update us all the time.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like that would just be a hassle.
yeah. Especially considering there's billions of us now, having to give like individual code to billions of us, that's not even feasible. How could I send a code to 5 billion of us on the planet, for
Right.
example, and tell every single person to do something completely different in such a short amount of time? That's just not feasibly possible, so to speak.
Exactly. It just makes no sense.
It really doesn't.
But I mean, okay. So assuming that we were in a simulation, though, like,
Yeah.
how do you think that plays out? Like, what do these theorists say as far as that goes?
Well, nobody's got a defined answer on it. That's the problem. Everybody has their own views and different opinions because,
Well,
like I said, some
what are
believe
some of
that
these views?
some of these views are such as overlords who are watching us, possibly using us for research. Um, we could be part of a simulation, living a life in some post-apocalyptic world. Maybe they need us for a power source to fuel their, um, civilization, so to speak.
Right.
And
So,
some people just think
so
that's what God is.
it almost seems like people have just been watching The Matrix.
Hmm.
Like that's what they
Yeah,
watch and that's what they believe.
yeah. That's pretty much when the theories started popping up everywhere originally, was around the book and the movies, That's
Right.
when the discussion properly came into play, like, what if we are, this could be feasible or something along those lines. But it's just not feasible. There's no way somebody's typing into a computer right now and having me say all these words that I'm thinking of on my own and basically being able to completely formulate everything that I do and say
Right.
while I'm here in real time talking to all of you. Like, you know, we're too aware and, self-governing that we really do have free will. We can do what we want. Some people do horrible things,
Do you think we
but they
have
make
so
those choices.
do you think we have free will? Cuz part of me doesn't think we do.
Not in today's society, no, we don't.
No.
No. But technically, I believe we are free will like creatures that kind of do our own thing. And certain experiences can shape us along the way. Depending where you grew up or whatnot, could have an effect on how you grow up. What your life was like. All these things build us completely differently.
Right.
And somebody trying to code all that in and make this big experience happen, there's been no purpose to doing so. That's just something that we've experienced throughout life due to choices we made. That day we chose to fight, that day we chose to walk away. A result happened from it. It's I believe it's free will that affects a lot of our outcomes, and unfortunately, our free will muddles with others, and sometimes they do bad things to us.
Right.
I don't believe somebody's moving me on a chessboard and putting me up against this person for him to basically be a jerk to me. Like they're trying to be a bad sim in The Sims, just giving everybody grief to make them hate them. You know, it's just way too childish of an intelligent species potentially wanting to see what happens with us or something along those lines.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I definitely don't think that we're being, like, controlled, I guess you could say, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if we are in one, does that mean that death is technically meaningless?
I mean,
No.
I think it would be. Yeah.
Like, could it be that some people get to speak to the creator slightly, or something along those lines? When the people almost die and they end up coming back, could it be these death experiences where they've supposedly seen a being was actually them meeting the creator, or something along those lines, having a conversation with them, and then they got sent back? Um,
See, that's the thing. We're never gonna know. That's for certain.
we'd never be able to figure out we are in the simulation. Um, I mean, the whole planet could start to believe that we are, but I
Right.
don't think we'll ever be able to find out how to get out of it if we was in one.
Hmm. I mean, so I mean, even like, uh, I kind of want to go into he's controversial, but Andrew Tate even said, the way that you get out of the simulation, because he even says, we're in a simulation, but not in the way that people think. You know, we're in a simulation that's controlled by the government and by the elites, right?
Oh yeah,
And that's the simulation that we're in. We're led to believe basically just to be poor, right? We're brainwashed into it, and I agree with him to that extent,
yeah,
But he said the way that you get out of it is by being rich. Essentially, you got to get rich in order to get out of the simulation. Um, and there's ways to do that, easy ways to do it, but you just got to do it, and people won't. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I feel like people are just so conditioned to be this way.
yeah.
Again, you said we're like electric beings. We have electricity run through our bodies, and and just like any computer, and any computer can be programmed. Well, that's what the media and the government has done to us. They programmed us to be this way. You know,
Right.
so
Like they keep showing, say for example, a certain group is attacking other people. They can keep showing that, and they know over time it'll program you to have some dislike or hatred to whatever it is that potentially they are dealing with. It's like social conditioning us to basically hate this group of people, for example.
right,
I mean, we know all the armies around the world were pretty much using propaganda and stuff to try and recruit people into the World War One and Two. Fight for your country, defend it against our enemies. And honestly, history is often told by the victors.
Yeah.
If, say, for example, Germany succeeded and was able to conquer and everything like that, the story of today's society would be completely different. It'd be completely, we beat them all, we punished those people, and people would celebrate it, for example, because unfortunately the bad side won, and those people are like that. That's what they believed. And there was often a lot of lies also told by Nazi Germany to the people. They were lying to the people what was really happening. Um,
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just a part of war. It's something that our race inherently ends up getting mixed up in. And the sad thing is, it's not the people that are in the elites and all that are suffering, it's the people that they send out to fight their wars for their issues.
Hmm.
They're not going out there themselves into the field of fire and taking care of these so-called enemies they have to deal with, and they spend our lives, the poor people, the people who are in the lower ends of society, so to speak. We're on the firing line. It's our bodies that get shot and riddled with bullets, and the lives we lose. Like, they never have anything happen to them because they're just telling us to do it, essentially. It's like a king sending his army in to fight for him while the king just sits there in his throne room. That's essentially what the elites do, and the people that are facilitating all these wars going on and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, for that to be simulated rather than, you know, stuff that's actually happened through our free will, I think that'd be a bit too much to simulate, really.
Hmm.
Because there's a great movie that I watched, and basically I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head, but it was a very great movie where they're in a future and it's very technologically advanced, and they are controlling people and using them to basically play in a gun game, using their lives of prisoners.
I don't think I've seen it.
And it was a great film, but it's almost like people were controlling the people and making them shoot the guns, trying to be the best in the world at this game and get their freedom for their soldier that they've basically picked, which is actually just another human being. They are controlling what they do on that battlefield, using them like a vessel, essentially, like a soldier. That's some kind of person you're controlling in a video game with an actual living human being. And it's an amazing film, but even with all that and how great the film is, I'll try and remember the name of it. I'm just trying to think of somebody doing that just doesn't really seem feasible to me.
You might have to look it up during the break.
Yeah, I think that's what I might do.
Yeah, I think if anything, I don't even know, man. Like, I feel like, an energy source would probably be the best bet if we were some sort of simulation. But then again, like, the amount of energy that would be put
Hmm.
into it just to
Yeah.
output it, we'd have to output more.
Yeah. The movie's called Gamer.
Gamer, okay.
Um, but yeah, essentially they had full control of him, his sinuses, his sight, and everything. And it portrayed a world where people could control other people's bodies and make them do what they want. Um, it's I just can't see an advanced civilization doing that to us and playing us like we're some soldier in Call of Duty. I don't think that's what creators would do if they, actually created us into a simulation. So that's also why I don't believe we're in a simulation as well, because it's just it's too much to control. There's too many variables. It'd be impossible to write every action we do into whatever it is and make this world function the way it does.
Right.
It take too much power, too much resources. You'd need to be moving at like what, 1 millionth a second or something. I don't know. Compared to your creator who's putting in the code. Yeah, I just don't see it happen. Because there's no way they're doing it like this quickly, like this, like this, like this. It's just new code, new code, new code. There's no way.
Right. I mean, I agree with you, man. It's just, it just doesn't seem feasible.
Yeah. It's also no sense to it. So if you ever did find out you was in a simulation, how would you feel about it though?
Mm, I mean, honestly, I personally, I don't think I personally care.
You would care? Would be happy or sad or interested?
No, don't think I'd really care, honestly.
Hmm. I think I'd be quite upset. If I was being controlled this whole entire time, I think I'd be pretty upset. Um, because the life they kind of gave me at the start, was horrible.
Hmm. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'd care personally because like my life hasn't changed at all, anyways. You know.
Yeah.
So why? What would it matter?
Mm. I mean, some people say dark matter is the code of the universe, potentially. And the speed of light is probably the speed at which the code travels, which is the fastest known light in our, um, you know, universe and whatnot.
Right.
But even so, even if dark matter was the code of the universe and the speed of light was actually how fast the code travels, I just don't see us being part of some machine simulation like a computer game, moving around for all these creators that have made us and controlling our lives and things, playing games with us. I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, I'll have to do some more looking up about this stuff during the break too, but
Yeah.
because I haven't had any kind of time to do any kind of research on this.
Yeah, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I took a vacation last over the weekend, so
Yeah.
I've been out of town, so I've hadn't had any time to look up anything for the topic this week. I
Yeah.
all I know is from pop culture about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to look up over the break.
Mm.
But yeah, so we could probably take an early break. Just come back a little
Yeah, we
sooner,
could potentially, yeah.
and I can do some research on that.
Mhm.
If you guys are all okay with that, I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Be back like what 5:55. Take about 15-minute break.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty. See you guys then.
Yep, see Welcome, everybody. We are live on the Phenomenonormal podcast. We're discussing the Matrix. Is it conspiracy or facts? Now, we were recently discussing why we think we aren't in a simulation. But there is one interesting thing I do want to bring up, which is kind of crazy. So, in 2017, a multidisciplinary group of researchers at the University of Washington, proved that they could embed malicious computer code into physical strands of DNA.
Washington.
Yeah, the University of Washington. You could embed malicious computer code into physical strands of DNA.
Huh. So,
How?
well, I mean, so they've been developing with bioengineering and stuff.
Hmm. How could they put a computer code if it's just code into DNA?
I have no idea. I'm not a scientist.
Well, yeah, they're able to show that computers were working in gene sequencing were vulnerable to attack.
I mean, essentially, that's all we are. We're code. That's what our brain does, you know. So, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Mm.
But, I mean, oh, so part of me thinks that possibly we could be, too, just because, I mean, people are literally NPCs out there.
Right.
You know? And not to call our viewers NPCs, but, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have had some of these moments where, you know, like, someone tries to say something to you guys, and it just doesn't register to you, and you're just like, yeah, hi, how are you? And they could say some, like, the most off-the-wall stuff, too, like, I don't know, they'd be like banana bread to you, and you'd be like, hi, how are you? You know, we're all just NPCs in this world. And I've tested this theory where I've gone out to, like, stores, and I've done that kind of stuff, you know, just said some off-the-wall stuff, and people just don't even recognize that I said something like that, and it's almost like they're scripted. And I feel like I'm in some sort of simulation or video game with that. I'm like, what? Like, how are you not going to acknowledge that I just said that, you know? Like, it's such a weird way to greet someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mic is still picking up background noise, but we're going to bear with it through the podcast. It's just what it is. I can't fix it right now. I've tried. Sorry about that, people.
Many people tried to argue that because we're in what we call a Goldilocks zone, you know, where we're close enough to a star, but not too close that we're basically being, you know, burnt alive. We're in like a perfect state for a planet to produce life. People say that the reason why we can't find any others that are just like Earth is because potentially the simulation can only really formulate one world.
Right. Oh my goodness, okay. Sorry guys, I am playing with settings. It's getting bad. I'm trying to get rid of that grain that I hear in the background. Alright, just remove that completely, because that didn't work, obviously. Alright, maybe that will work a little bit better. It sounds better already on my end.
Yeah. I mean, there has been some very interestingly strange videos out there of cars seemingly appearing out of nowhere. Have you seen any of these?
Mm-mm. No, if you send me
Um,
some, maybe I could put some up on the screen here.
yeah,
All right, does my audio sound better? If you guys are watching, like, you guys can comment. I'm just letting you guys know. I see a lot of y'all that keep returning. You guys can comment and talk with us. But if my mic is like screwy, because I listen to the podcast in the background, I have two sets of headphones on. I know it sounds weird, but I do. Um, and on my end, I sounded grainy. And I've been trying
yeah.
to fix that. So I just put a noise suppression on as well, so maybe the background noise doesn't come in. So
Just
if it sounds
yeah.
better now, then let me know. But yeah, if Aaron, if you want to send me some of that stuff, I can put it up here on the screen.
Yeah, give me a moment.
Okay. But yeah, so I got a couple articles while he's looking that up. Scientific American, right? I was reading a little bit of it during the break. But yeah, basically it's what Aaron confirmed, about Elon Musk stating that, it's about 50-50 shot that we're in a simulation, that we live in one, and that it would have to be on like a quantum scale as far as how it goes. So, I mean, I didn't even think about it that way either. That like, because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm not that tall either. I'm only like 5'6", but being 5'6", in our perception of reality versus something else where we might be microscopic, you know,
Hmm.
compared to whatever is running us as a simulation. So there's the quantum scale, like um that movie there, Ant-Man and the Wasp. It shows it perfectly, where they're in their world and they're that normal size, then they shrink down to that microscopic size, but they're still the same size, just in a different like realm essentially. That could be where we are. It's just in some shorter, smaller realm, and there's a bigger world above us.
Yeah.
So, so that could also be possibilities as well.
Possibility, yeah. But yeah, that video I show you, if you skip to about a minute in, watch number 5 and number 4, at least.
All right, we'll put this up on the screen here. It's got, no thanks. It has an ad. Skip ad.
Hey, top five.
All right, I'm gonna skip to a minute in. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here for us.
Great. And just mute us and just play it, and then we'll ask viewers what they think and have a little discussion.
All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and mute us real quick.
Top 5 best. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just
I
show number
completely
5
forgot
and
that
number
my
4
audio
and
is
more
off again.
discussion.
Jeez, I am all over the place today. All right, so this video is by top 5 best. That's what I was checking when you saw my mouse cursor right here on the screen. Hi, how are you? 5 car teleportations caught on camera. All right, I wanted to give top 5 best shout out for their video. All right, it's not our video, so before I
Yeah.
continue on with it, here it is. I think I got the audio fixed for that, and I'll go ahead and shut up and play the video.
Alright.
Number 5. This strange footage was also taken by a security camera in an unknown location. It depicts a car on a 4-lane highway suddenly disappearing. This time when the car disappears, a big flash of light can be seen. Here's the video. Number 4. This next teleportation clip was taken by a dashcam in Russia. It shows a car suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Some people think this video shows a genuine instance in which a teleportation was caught on tape. Here's the video. Number 3. This video was taken on a rural countryside road during the summer. A car comes into frame and then disappears. That's pretty cool, right? Is this a real car teleportation caught on tape? And due to the fact that the video was framed so perfectly, many people have questioned its authenticity, saying it is the product of nothing but video editing. Number 2.
I think that was true.
This next video was taken by a closed-circuit television security camera, and it claims to show a car teleporting on a bridge. This teleportation is quite different because we can actually see the same car reappearing after disappearing. Take a look. Number 1. This video, which was also taken on a highway, claims to show another car teleporting. This strange car simply vanishes in.
Okay, so their little thing popped on screen, so we're not going to see number 1.
Right.
Alright, so I'll explain something that I know for fact, right? Number 3, definitely video editing. I can tell you that much right now. That's 100% video editing.
Yeah.
But the first one and that one that we just saw, CCTV, does that so often, right? I could tell you that because I've worked with CCTV a lot in the past, where, you know, like, so I used to work at a, occasionally I'd pull security when I was in the military at this social support center type thing, right? Basically, it's a big building that has like all the amenity stuff that soldiers need to do processing and blah 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 blah, right? Well, with that being said, they have CCTV in there, so I'd have to sit in that room and watch CCTV and everything. You would see people walk in and then just disappear, and then they'd reappear on the other side like the welcome desk, right? Now, these people aren't teleporting. They're not. The CCTV glitches, right? It like freezes up and then it unfreezes. Those little effects on there where it showed the teleportation quote, I'm doing air quotes. I know you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes. That teleportation thing, that's added. I can tell you that right now. They added that into the video.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's video editing mixed with CCTV just glitching out and freezing. The one from Russia there with the dash cam, that one was a confirmed video, all right? There's been a lot of people trying to debunk that one, and no one has been able to debunk it, right? So I think that was the second one that was played.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that one, I'll go back here and try and find it again real quick.
It was number 4, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, number 4 here. I'll put it back up on screen here. I'll shut up again real quick so you can watch. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm just gonna play it. I'll have it muted. You can watch, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this one right here has not been debunked at all. So you can see right there, right? Oh, as it goes back, I'll pause it. So you see this car right here, right? This car right here, this car right here, right? We'll back up even a little bit more. Let's let it play a little bit. So there's nothing right here in this lane right here, right? There's like car behind the bus, but there's nothing right here, right? Cars are going by, right? So here's the thing that gets me about it though, right? Is the video jumps, right? So it's playing normal, right? And then watch right here, jumps. It jumps to where he turns, right? So there was cars coming, mind you, from this direction where my arrow is, right, to this direction going across, right. So if there could have been a car on the side of this one. No, I guess not, because look, it just appears.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see right in here. You can see a little bit through here. Right here, it appears. So the only thing I could say is maybe right here on the other side of this like bus, I guess. I think it's a bus, maybe a tram.
Hmm.
It could have just came up and it's being blocked by the car right here. That's the only thing I can say
Hmm.
that could possibly maybe
Yeah.
debunk this.
Yeah.
But again, you know, cause see like this car's right here. So okay, let me see. There's a white truck here. Yeah, no, there's nothing right here. And I'm not saying this is not out of the realm of possibility. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's not very plausible, but the rest of them that I saw I can say debunked, they're fake. I don't think they're real at all.
Yeah. I agree.
Um Now I've had instances too where I'm driving, I'll look at my rear view, I look at my passenger side rear mirror there, and I look behind me to make sure no one's there, and I'll go to change lanes, and then boom, there's a car there. And
Hmm.
I'm like, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, where did you come from? Like,
Right.
where did you come from? Because I literally just checked, like, a split second, looking back at the road as I'm turning and looking back again, no one's still there, and then all of a sudden you're right there next to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they look at you like you're the idiot for almost hitting them. And I'm like, dude, you were not there. I swear to God, you were not there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, people are trying to say
there's just
that's a
no way.
glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, I don't know. I swear they were not there. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like imagine a game bug happening, where making something that's not supposed to
Right,
happen
right.
happen. That's what people are trying to say it is. Like it's
Yeah,
a glitch in
I
the
don't know,
Matrix.
man. It's weird. I don't like it. It's very strange.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I say it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. Pardon me.
But to say that's our Matrix or whatever, I don't know. I just that to me seems more I don't want to say paranormal, but something else, you know. Yeah, I'm just I don't know. I mean, you guys can tell us what you think. Put it in the comments. No one ever comments. You know, we got 7 subscribers now on YouTube. Thank you guys for subscribing. We got 6 followers on Twitch, and we don't get any comments. Like, come on, guys, be part of the community. Talk with us. You know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just let us know what you think. If you're on Twitch and you're
Yeah.
watching and you can't follow us because you don't have an account and you're just watching, make an account. Make a
Yeah.
quick account. It's not hard. Put in your
It's
email and you
completely free.
yeah, put in your email, make a password for it, and then come follow us on there. All right? It's yeah, like Aaron said, it's completely free, so that way we can that way you guys can join in this discussion with us and we can know your feedback. You know, that's what we want for this channel. We want feedback from the community, not just to hear us ramble on for 4 hours. But yeah, that's my take on it. What's your take on those 4 videos that we saw?
Yeah, I agree with you about the second one being possibly real. Could definitely what you suggested. It could have happened. But I don't know. I don't think it did happen. I don't think a car was there and came in from that side of the road. I think that might have possibly been a crazy experience that just can't be explained. I think it could have been a
See,
teleportation, maybe a glitch.
I'm a very logical thinker. I think there's some sort of logical explanation as to where that car
Yeah.
came from.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
There has to be an explanation to it, but what is the explanation?
right, right. That I can't answer. I do not know.
Yeah. And I also have another video here.
Okay, so this
Um,
is top 15s, it says.
yeah, but just watch number 9 for now.
Number 9. All right. Well, I got an ad, so we're gonna wait for the ad to finish, and then we'll put it up on
Yeah.
screen here for you guys.
And then after we watch number 9, we can watch number 15. And it's pretty wild what happens.
All right, so I'm gonna put this up on the
A bit
screen here.
crazy.
We'll go ahead and expand that for you guys here. Turn off the mute button here, and I will shut Aaron and myself up.
Hey! Oh!
Number 5, Ghost Car.
Number 9, the Traveler Teleportation.
Number 9, Time Traveler Teleportation. Number 9, Time Traveler Teleportation. While this video is most likely faked, it's still a very popular one when it comes to this subject. This video has been posted from several channels and sources all over the web, so it's a little hard to determine where it originated from. We are shown CCTV footage from what seems to be a small convenience store. A couple walks by and notices the store is closed and carries on. A homeless man sits outside in the front. In the top left corner, we can see the date read 1/3/2016. About 20 seconds into the video, a man wearing a hooded jacket walks up to the store. At first, he goes pretty unnoticed by the homeless man sitting outside. The camera glitches, the light flickers, and the date quickly alternates between 2016 and 2019. As the unknown person seems to walk through the glass door, the homeless man takes notice. As the unknown person is inside the store, possibly hearing him shuffle around inside, the hooded teleporter walks out of the glass door. Again, as the camera and lights behave oddly, the hooded teleporter walks out of the glass door. As the camera and lights behave oddly again, he walks out eating some sort of treat he grabbed and struts off as if nothing happened. The editing of this video seems cliché and typical, so many argue that it's faked. Number 8, Blue Light.
Okay. So, what do you think?
Hey, well, you know, it could definitely be faked. Potentially. But, I mean, you know, remember that video where we saw people being pulled out of the house? The cop was describing the being pulled out of the house, almost as if they phased through an object in that alien video, remember?
All right.
The proof of the abduction that we saw in the aliens discussion. Check that out, by the way. There was a police officer who was saying people were literally being pulled out of their houses, being abducted. You know, it was proper frantic. It was they had footage, and the camera started going all funny. And right there, this guy's basically seemingly phased through the door, and the camera's acted up, almost as if he's phased through it somehow. Could it be similar technology to that?
I mean, it could be, but that was alien tech, I suppose. There was aliens in that video, supposedly. So,
Yeah,
unless this person's an alien too,
I mean, you never know. I mean, who knows? Maybe he got the technology somewhere.
maybe.
Who knows? But if people are able to be pulled out of the house, there's obviously something possibly going on logically, I could think, with atoms being separated and moved. Because there's no way you can phase through another object. Yet somehow this craft was pulling them through the building. Could it be there's a way to manipulate a certain space, solid object, and break it apart and move through it?
Yeah, I'm not sure with that.
Yeah,
It
same.
definitely looks edited and faked, but I
Yeah,
mean, with videos these days, it's hard to tell.
yeah.
Again,
I mean,
I leave it up to the viewer speculation on it. I
number 15 was interesting as well.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and play that.
Yeah.
Deep. Number 15, dog teleportation. The ability to teleport has always been an idea more associated with human beings. You never turn on the news and hear about a bird teleporting in Russia, although it wouldn't be shocking at this point, but this video seems to suggest that animals do have some capability to teleport. The video, posted in early 2015, shows what is apparently a street race in Chile. The camera spots a dog in the middle of the road, and any lover of animals is sure to have a small panic attack, as it seems the cars will hit the dog at high speeds. As the low quality causes a blur in the footage, the dog seems to morph through a car and completely miss being hit by both vehicles. Thank goodness for the dog. Most viewers claim that this is either a trick of the eye or a horrible quality video allowing for it to be easily edited. Some others that more easily buy into the possibility of magic believe that this is not only a dog that can teleport, but very possible a person with the powers to teleport and shapeshift. There's no solid proof as to what's happening here, since both explanations are possible depending on your beliefs,
So,
but at
what do you think about that one?
I think it's
I think
I
that could
think it's
definitely be edited.
It's video edited
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. I
Definitely video
mean,
edited.
I don't know if. Because if we were in a computer simulation, that means we could theoretically break part of the simulation. Kind of like how a glitch causes issues in games. We could. We essentially could manipulate the simulation and cause our own glitch to make a different outcome happen.
Right.
If you get, if you get what I mean. So, could it be that these people maybe found a glitch in the simulation now so can break the simulation and cause some kind of glitch to happen that allows them to manipulate the speed like that and move quickly and save somebody? Could it be possible that if we are in one that we could do something like that?
I mean, possible? Sure.
Mm.
I'm gonna keep the audio off for this video, but I'll show you this one as well. This one's supposedly about a bird being frozen in midair.
Right.
Now it's above power lines too, so maybe it's something with the electrical current, maybe. But it's still very odd.
Yeah. The hell?
So I don't know. I'll let the viewers decide with that one. It looks almost like it's caught in like a web or something, but I mean it should be strong enough to break the webs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it's dead too.
essentially. And maybe it got shocked and fell into a web or something.
Possibly, yeah. It's still very strange.
Definitely.
So I'll let the viewers decide on that one. I'm not gonna replay it. If you want to watch it,
Yeah.
rewind the tape later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of weird situations. Supernatural, I guess you could call it. Supernatural doesn't mean ghost. It just
Yeah.
means it's an unordinary experience.
Yeah.
So
Supernatural basically just means not natural.
right, and that's kind of what I'm saying.
People,
Yeah, I'm not saying
affi-
it's ghosts or
yeah,
anything like that. I'm just saying
people
it's unknown.
affiliated with ghosts are paranormal. Like, oh, paranormal's ghosts and stuff like that. Not necessarily.
No, it's these are supernatural events.
Yeah.
Some of it's video editing, but the bird one, I mean, that caught the news.
Yeah.
So if it, I mean, I'm not saying the news is perfect. I'm far from it. I don't like the
No.
news, me personally. If you like to
No, me
watch the
neither.
news, good for you. Um, I would suggest you branch out to other avenues of getting your actual news, but
Yeah.
the mainstream media. But that was on the mainstream media that caught the new caught the eye of that. Um, you know, I know it's not the off-topic hour, but I'm gonna go off topic just for like a minute. If you guys
Yeah.
trust the media, just remember that I think his channel is called Hugaby or something like that. He makes those how it's made videos, but he does like spoofs on it. One of his
Yeah.
videos got picked up by CNN on how to make bread.
Yeah.
They literally put that on the news. How to make bread by his channel. And
Okay.
he does jokes. He makes fun of the show pretty much.
Mm.
And they put it on news as if it's like a real thing on how to make bread. So
Right.
trust the media all you want. That's all I'm going to say on that, and we'll get back on topic.
Right.
But yeah. So that video got picked up by mainstream media as well. As an unexplained event. So it's very interesting that they're trying to say that yeah, it's not a fake video. It's not edited in any kind of way. It's a legit, authentic video.
Yeah.
So
Do you do you think we would ever get the technology to create a computer simulation?
I mean, we already have. It's called The Sims.
No, but I mean, like, I'm talking about that level. So being able to create a world that completely operates on its own with basically, rules we've put in place for the AI to live by, and potentially have a bunch of little AI just living out a world.
I mean, we kind of already have it. It's just
Yeah.
it's small scale,
Hmm.
but we have it. It's already out there.
Yeah.
I mean, The Sims. I'm serious. Like you can do free reign on The Sims, so you
Yeah,
can
I know.
give the Sims in the game free will, and they'll operate all within themselves and independently from one another. On your computer, so you can actually do that.
Yeah.
Your character will go to different sections if you have other DLCs as well. They'll go to different
Yeah.
places and interact with different people, and then there's other Sims that are non-playable or that you haven't played, operating in separate sections of the game simultaneously at the same time. So I mean, it's very we have that already in just video games and
Pretty
stuff.
much, yeah.
Uh, it's just to a lesser scale than what our complexity is.
Yeah. I'm talking about making a full world of Sims. Like a complete planet full of Sims.
I mean, we have the technology to create that
Yeah.
with AI. We can do that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the capability of doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposed to be. Supposedly, that's what I've heard is that it's supposed to have AI in
Yeah.
it that's gonna do all that. They're all the NPCs are not longer going to be just like they're. I mean, they're still NPCs, but they're autonomous. They have their own lives in the game.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the same character skin that you're going to see every single time you walk down the street. They're going to be different people.
It'll be interesting if
Yeah,
they can make it happen.
yeah. So that's from what I've heard from Rockstar. So, um, and they'll all have their own jobs and they'll talk about whatever. It's not going to be the same dialogue. Apparently, there's going to be so much dialogue in this game that it's mind blowing because it's going to be
Yeah.
AI talking, not people.
Hmm.
So, like, what I might encounter in my game will be different than what you encounter in your game. The story will be the same no matter what, but the encounters and the people and the whatever that we meet in there will be different. Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if I come out my house on the game and there's a red car that passes me by, it's not gonna be the same as on your game. It's gonna be I don't know, some other maybe like a Jeep or something, or if I have a guy with a plaid shirt that it's always standing outside my house on your game, it might be a guy in like I don't know, a blue button down top. So it's there's just gonna be different NPCs in there, and they're gonna have their own unique dialogues, and that's supposedly. We'll see though. I mean,
Yeah.
game companies have always promised XYZ.
And
Uh,
then not delivered.
not deliver. Yeah, even Rockstar has done that, but I mean, they've always attempted to do what they deliver, what they set forth to deliver.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that we have the capability to make worlds like that already on our computers. You can develop if you know how to do software and develop AI and everything. You can do it yourself.
So what
But
do you what do you think would need to happen for us to be in a simulation? What do you think they would need to be able to power that kind of thing?
Ooh. Well, based off of computers, I mean, they're gonna need either one very, very powerful CPU or multiple CPUs. Like I'm talking
Hmm. Yeah.
maybe 10 to hundreds of thousands of CPUs worth of power
Yeah.
for that. A power supply that puts out more energy than like at least like 10 to 100 of our suns. Um, graphics as far as I can't even imagine how much gigabytes that would take for graphics.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so much.
Yeah.
I mean, our best ones only produce I think like what like 20 something gigs or something like that. 24 gigs, 28 gigs, something like that.
Not too sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but you would need massive amounts of that. So much freaking RAM. I'm talking like I mean, my computer, my desktop computer is 64 gigs, and that's like a supercomputer pretty much for gaming. Um, you're gonna need millions of gigabytes of RAM, maybe billions, because the RAM is what allows you to like operate multiple different programs at once, right? That's what the RAM does. So you're gonna need probably billions of gigabytes of RAM. The computer is basically just RAM. If this is a simulation, we're basically that computer would basically just be RAM, straight RAM.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you need billions of gigabytes to run that.
I
It
think
it'd be so much.
mm, I think another thing that also credits to the fact that we're not in a simulation is how many complexities there are to our universe. All the different minerals, all the millions of insects, billions of different things. You got trees all over the planet, water, sea life, all moving independently. Ingredients that mix together and create things. There's just millions of possibilities of what you can make with different things on the planet. There'd just be too much to program into a simulation. To have that many laws, that many different objects that they've been able to program and put in, all that's independently with all the complexities that are mixed in with the way nature works, and some things can be used to create cures to other things. It's just too much for even an intelligent species to be able to write that much with all those different laws, all those different billions upon trillions of
if you want a game,
things in the universe.
If you're talking about a simulation type game that I think has the most in it, right, as far as a realistic feel, right? Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game, right? They actually have ants in the game, programmed into the game.
Yeah.
Right? If you look closely enough at the ground in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can see ants in the grass.
Yeah.
Right? That's how much detail they put into this thing. The trees blow with the wind. So you can actually tell the direction of the wind in that game by the way the trees are blowing.
Yeah.
And
then they also did something with the horses.
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west.
Yeah. For some weird reason, they put a lot of detail into making the genital area of the horses realistic.
Yeah, so Red Dead Redemption 2...
They were overworking their workers to achieve that.
Yeah, they wanted the most realistic
on YouTube
feel.
about it.
They wanted the most realistic feel to a game, as to make it like a real life type feel to it. And I mean, even the NPCs in the game, yes, they have some typical one-liners, but I mean, they all move fluidly. I think like they react to things you do. Aiming a gun at them, they react to it.
Yeah.
Just the little details they put into that game, you could tell they really tried.
Oh yeah.
And that right there, I think, is probably the closest we're gonna get to a simulation. As if we were in a simulation, that's the closest type. If you were to compare it to a video game that we have.
Yeah. It's unquantifiable because if you imagine the world as like a number counter with everything on it. Now, I'm not talking about just humans, like every microorganism, cell, all that kind of stuff. The number is immeasurable. How many things our Earth itself contains. It would be impossible for a species to write that many things for a world and have a simulation going with us in it.
Right.
Because that's just the planet alone, it's unquantifiable. Then if you take the universe and all the different planets and everything that's going on their surfaces, potentially, it's just too much for a singular race to go and program all this in. Far too much. It's like infinite items, so to speak, that they would need to write infinite code for. Like, we get iron from the earth and whatnot. That's something that's part of the counter for what the earth contains into that number. Every single individual mineral, grain, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. I mean, you build a building, the amount of sand that's used in the concrete and stuff like that. Not sand. The amount of stuff in concrete, all the different minerals that it creates while it's being created,
So I'm gonna go ahead and post this article here on the Discord.
Even that'd be millions upon trillions of pieces.
I posted a site on the Discord, and if you're not on there, you're missing out. Go over there and join our Discord. All right, the link to it is right there in the chat.
Yeah.
Click on that link, hit accept. Hit accept for reading the rules. The rules will pop up, and then you can be in the Discord with us. All right. But there's a link in there, and I'm gonna go over a little bit here. Probably in the next segment of the show.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a jump start on the read, it's there on the Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and post the other one as well on the Discord. It's under the mysteries tab if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So they're both from the Scientific American. Their newsletter. Pretty credible source. There's not much misinformation on them, but the first one I posted says that it's confirmed we live in a simulation. That was posted back on April 1st of 2021. The second one is do we live in a simulation? Chances are about 50-50, and that was posted on October 13th of 2020.
Mm.
So if you guys want to read up on those, you can, and I'll kind of go over both of those in the next segment. If
Yeah.
you guys are good with that, and Aaron's good with it, he is the host after all today.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, regardless of how intelligent a species is, a single mind cannot think of that many different pieces of the Earth. Every grain of sand is a piece. Every insect and millions of ants around the world is a piece. All the buildings, all the trees, all the ingredients that make up food. You add it all together as a number, the number does become literally unquantifiable. There's no way we could calculate how many objects there are altogether in the planet alone. Because even a grain of sand is made out of tiny molecules. That's also a number as part of the Earth. It's just too much to measure and be able to write code for, with all the different laws and rules around it all. It would take, the amount of time you would need to even possibly do that would be gazillions of years. To even be able to write that much stuff into a world and then have people live in it that are also bound by their own rules and into the number. It's just impossible. Let's be honest. It's impossible.
Yeah. I also added another topic here on our Discord for AI, if you want to talk about that. I have so I mean everything they're that would have to be, if we were in a simulation, it would have to be in the quantum type realm. It would have to be on the quantum level. Right? So we would have to be microscopic in the large scheme of things. On a digital field, we'd have to be in a microscopic like entity of it, like we'd have to be small.
Yeah.
That's how I would have to see it as. There'd be like these massive creatures that would be way bigger than us.
Yeah.
Or if we are in like a computer of some sorts, then we're just a tiny little file. That's not taking up a lot of space.
Or just the floppy disk, memory card, player one.
Yeah.
Load up the
But the
world.
fact that we have free will, at least in the general sense of it, I don't think we're in a simulation for that purpose.
Oh, no. It's just impossible
if
to
the
be
idiot
a
in
thing.
front of me driving doesn't use a turn signal and then wrecks into a telephone pole, chose to do that because they're an idiot and try to cut off someone, but then instead got themselves cut off because they didn't use the turn signal and wait, and then they crashed to the telephone pole. That was their free choice to do that.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's my free choice to laugh at them and then hope they're okay afterwards because I saw it all happen.
Yeah.
And then I have the free choice: do I pull over or just keep driving? Sorry, I'm being very morbid, people. I'm very sorry. It's just who I am. All right. I hate other drivers. I think the majority of people driving on the road today are just complete idiots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I was 16 and I had my moped, I ended up on my arse, twice because of car drivers. They don't give a damn about you. They don't care. And,
Well, I'm tired of driving down the road and, people are going 10 under the speed limit in the left-hand lane. I'm like, dude, get over. Let me go past you. I feel like if we're in a simulation, we're in our own personal simulations. Everybody's just not paying attention. They're on their own world. They think the world revolves around them.
Right.
And it does.
The main character.
And here's a newsflash, people: the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
It doesn't revolve around me. It doesn't revolve around you. It revolves around the sun. All right, because that's how gravity works. So
Right.
everybody needs to get over themselves. You're not special. None of us are special.
Nope.
All right. The elites aren't special. They think they are, but they're not.
The celebs aren't special.
Yep. None of them are special. None of us are special. Get over ourselves. All
Just
right.
because
Be
a celeb
cognizant.
may
Be
be
aware.
rich and famous does not mean they
Yeah.
are better than
Yeah.
you.
Look, be cognizant. Be aware, and respect your fellow human beings. It's that simple.
Right. Respect your brothers.
Yeah.
We're all here together on this planet. We're all human.
Yeah.
Get along.
Right.
Put down the beef.
I like beef.
But, you know, gotta get on with each other.
Speaking of beef, I just had the most delicious steak for dinner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was a filet mignon.
Yeah.
It was absolutely tender and great.
Right, yeah. Go
Yeah.
on, break more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Salt and
Yeah, what
pepper
was
on it.
mine?
It was a nice medium well.
Yeah, yeah.
I prefer medium rare, but it was a medium well.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, was it? Nice,
Yeah.
nice and medium well.
Nice and
Yeah.
juicy. Nice texture.
Yeah, was it? Delicious, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't think to share any with me?
No. Why would I share my steak with you? No.
Just rubbing it in that you're this delicious steak that I never got
Oh,
to
no. See, there was no rub. It was just salt and pepper.
have. uh, see, I never really ate beef that much
You're missing out.
because my mom doesn't know how to cook it right.
You know,
And it always
we're
ends up
kind of
being
going off
hard
topic
and I end
here,
up
and I
chewing it
think
for
it's
like
just
10
because
minutes.
we got 5 more minutes before our break here. But
Yeah.
hold on, let me see what this stuff is called. I can't remember. No, it's not that. All right. Okay, what is this stuff called? I can't remember it now. Um, Hun, what do you know about? No. Yeah, is that it? Yeah, Hanwoo. All right, when I was in Korea, man, they have a steak
Yeah.
over there called Hanwoo, right?
Oh,
Hanwoo,
yeah. Yeah.
Hanwoo steak, right?
Yeah.
Second best steak I've ever had in my entire life. It is probably
Hmm.
it is one of the most tender steaks I've ever had. If you guys haven't had it, go get it. It's their version of a Wagyu steak.
Yeah.
The best one I've had is a Wagyu steak, an authentic Japanese Wagyu steak.
Hmm.
Super expensive, right? I think I paid like $300 for that steak.
Damn.
But it was good. It was the most amazing steak I ever had in my life. If you can have that, absolutely get it. If you can afford it, grab it. It's great. You will not regret it. But Hanwoo is a great second alternative. If you got the money for it, they're a little on the cheaper side. About $200 for a good
Uh-huh.
one. 150 to
Yeah.
$200 for a good one. But yeah, they're just so tender and delicious. And filet mignons
Pardon me,
are
sorry.
my second favorite, or my third favorite. Sorry, I would go
Hmm.
filet mignon third, and I just had that tonight, so I'm a very happy Josh today.
Yeah, must be nice, man. Must be nice.
Oh, it is, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
should have been here. Could have had some.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there eventually. And you have to treat me to a steak, won't you?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta save up some money again, man. I blew all my
Uh,
money on a new rifle and a vacation.
yeah. But
You know, if you want, I'll talk about some of that on our final hour.
yeah,
But yeah, let's go into our break and go into our final hour of our topic here.
yeah.
And see you guys then.
Yep.
Cue the music.
Ba, 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 da, ba, ba.
Say, cue the music. Hello.
Hello, we are back. So today we're discussing The Matrix. Is it conspiracy or fact? Please remember we go live every other Tuesday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. US Eastern Time and 10 p.m. UK time. So feel free to check us out each week. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All podcasts will be uploaded to YouTube shortly after. So you can watch there if you miss any of the show and you want to see the earlier parts of it. It will go there because it'll stay on Twitch, but eventually Twitch removes videos after a certain amount of time, whereas YouTube it'll be there permanently in place, so you can go watch it at any point. So far, both of us are in green, so we aren't in a computer simulation.
Nah. It's not a computer simulation.
And I understand people like to romanticize, possible things in media as being something that could be real and could happen to us. I think people are putting too much romanticism on the whole subject rather than looking at it from a logical point of view and going, well, no, that's not how it is. I think people just really are in love with the idea and they want to believe that they're in the Matrix. So whenever something strange happens, like, oh, Matrix, the Matrix, we're in a simulation. That's the reason why. And oftentimes, when you're looking for something, you'll somehow find it. When you focus too hard on something, you're trying to look for it, you'll convince yourself in any way possible that you are right. It's
Is
just.
that why no one can find love? So yeah, I don't believe we're in a simulation. I do have a couple
No.
articles. I can read some of the clips from it if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we'll go off the first one here. Is the this was the 2021. All right. Kind of just goes. I'm not gonna read it verbatim. I post them in the Discord. If you want to go ahead and read them, join our Discord. You can find the articles there, or you can look up Scientific American, and they have the articles on there as well. But I'll kind of skim through some of them. Basically, the 50-50 one is from like, are we in a simulation? Chances are about 50-50. This is what Aaron was talking about earlier with Elon Musk, stating that it's a 50-50 chance that we're in a simulation. Uh, and it kind of goes over Neil deGrasse Tyson there explaining the simulation argument. Saying that the idea that we could be virtual beings living in a computer simulation. If so, the simulation would most likely create perceptions of reality on demand rather than simulate all the reality all the time, much like a video game, optimized to render only parts of a scene visible to the player.
Yeah.
And he said maybe that's why we can't travel faster than the speed of light, because if we could, we'd be able to get to another galaxy,
Mm.
right? So that would explain like why we're stuck here. So basically, we're all our own player in a way.
Yeah.
And maybe that explains why also when you're walking around, everyone else seems to be like an NPC. But in their view,
Yeah.
you're acting like an NPC.
Yeah.
So that could explain that theory behind it. It's still very vague though on that and very unlikely, but it you know. Um yeah, so it was a 2016 conference where Elon Musk said that the odds that we are in a base reality is 1 in billions. Musk is right
Mm-hmm.
if you assume 1 and 2 of the trilemma are false, says another astronomer, David Kipping.
Mm.
And he said, how can you assume that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is actually a very interesting read. I've skimmed through it already over the breaks. Um,
Yeah.
Definitely join our Discord. Click on the link. Go check this article out. There's a lot of information in this, and it goes on and on and on down the page, right? So
Yeah.
go ahead and read it for yourselves. But basically, the whole topic of this article for this one is it was a 50-50 chance that we're in one, right? And this was posted back in 2020, right? The second article I have was posted in 2021 saying that confirmed we do live in a simulation.
Right.
And the sub article title is "We must never doubt Elon Musk again," which
Mm.
I don't agree with that statement. I think you should doubt everyone until proven,
Oh yeah.
um, including us. Doubt
Innocent till
us because
proven
we talk
guilty.
gibberish and go off topic all the dang time. So,
Yeah. Yeah, Josh,
um,
you need to stop doing that.
yeah, that's the way my brain
No, I
works.
keep doing it as well. Yeah,
Um,
ADHD brains for you.
all right. So I'm trying to get to the point where it talked about it. I can't remember where it was. I don't have like a bookmark thing on my screen here. So
Right.
um,
Yeah.
the claims have been afforded some credence by reputation, by luminaries no less esteemed than Neil deGrasse Tyson, the director of Hayden Planetarium and America's favorite science popularizer. Yet there have been skeptics. Physicist Frank Wilczek has argued that there's too much wasted complexity in our own universe for it to be simulated. Building complexities requires energy and time, which is what we said earlier. Uh, why would a conscious intelligence designer of realities waste so many resources into making our world more complex than it needs to be? It's a hypothetical question, but still may be needed. And that's exactly what I said too at the very
Yeah.
beginning of this podcast, right? That's the exact same thing I said. I'm not even a physicist, right?
Yeah.
I'm just some idiot. I got a bachelor's in history education. That's all. That's the
Yeah.
height of my education right there. And beyond that, I was a military police soldier for 9 years. So
Yeah.
I'm not the most intelligent dude. I think I have some degree of intelligence, but I'm not very I'm not top of my class, you know.
Oh yeah.
But this guy's a physicist. This is what he studies, and I said the exact same thing. So hey,
Mm.
there you go. I say it's too much energy, too much time to make it, and why
Yeah.
why make it so complex? You know, we have simulations like The Sims where it's just a dumbed down version of our reality,
Yeah.
and it's still just as fun. So if it was some simulation, why make it so complex?
Right.
What is the purpose of that? So I agree. I agree 100% with this guy. I am 100% on board with what he had to say.
Mm.
Um, I think further in the article a bit, yeah. Here's a very simple example. Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier too, right? A
Right.
64-bit processor would perform a subtraction between, say, 7,862,345 and 6,347,111 in the same amount of times as it would take to perform a subtraction between 2 and 1.
Mm.
Granted, all numbers are defined as the same variable type. In the simulated reality, 7 million is a very large number and 1 is a comparatively very small number. In the physical world of the processor, the difference in scale between these two numbers is irrelevant. Both subtraction in our example constitute one operation and would take the same time. Here we can clearly see the difference between a simulated or abstract world of programmed mathematics and a real or physical world of microprocessor operations.
Mm.
So there is a video on that too, by Scientific American. It's on YouTube. It's
Right.
titled "What If the Universe Was Different?" All right, I'm not gonna play the video. You can go check that out on YouTube yourself. What if the universe was different by Scientific American?
Mm.
I'm gonna check that out after the podcast because I am quite interested in watching that myself.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, it's saying that if this was a simulated world or reality, that's what this guy was saying is if this was, the laws of physics would be completely different.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but it would require so much processing power
Oh yeah.
that is just ridiculous amounts of it, and that's just for the world. He's talking about just about the Earth.
Mm.
Never mind the rest of the galaxy or the universes or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, 7 million is how much like processing power it needs. 7 million.
Yeah.
Seven, almost 8 million bit processor.
Yeah. I think more.
That's just for the
Honestly,
Earth, is what he's saying.
I feel like it'd actually be more.
Oh yeah, it had to be more, and that's ridiculous. I mean, most computers have a 64-bit.
Mm.
Your phones are
That's
anywhere from 32 to 64. Our computers are usually 64. And you want 8 million?
it.
That's why I'm saying we're not in a simulation. Get real, people. Get real.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a hardware computer hardware junkie. I love computer hardware, right? I love
Yeah.
putting together computers. I love knowing like the specs of computers, things like that, right? Software, the ones and zeros, I don't understand that. I don't know coding, right?
No.
I don't understand any of that, but the hardware I do, and this right here
Pardon me.
makes sense to me.
Mm.
And again, I didn't have the numbers. Someone did the math on it. And
Yeah.
it basically just confirmed my theory all along. So this
Yeah.
article is saying that we are in a simulation, but everything I've read so far just has been disproving that we don't. So if you want to
Mm.
check it out, go check it out for yourself. I do recommend it. Um, it even goes more into depth about the 8-bit computers, um, about graphics designs, all that kind of stuff. If we were in one,
Mm. Yeah.
it's very, very, very in depth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say go check it out.
hmm
I yeah, it even references Grand Theft Auto. Um, but yeah, it's just the simulation is reality. That's the simulation, basically. I think is what this
Yeah.
article's getting at. If it's not a real
Mm.
simulation, this is reality.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. It's just I can't think of a single feasible argument for us actually being in one. I don't think there's an argument anybody could give me that made me go, "We're definitely in one." I don't think there is one. A lot of it's a lot of speculation, romanticism, people making up theories, wanting something like this to be real. They love the idea of it. Um, but there's no proper proof, really. The only thing I can think of, really, that would add any kind of credence to proof is how we can somehow put in a computer virus into physical DNA. I find that kind of crazy, almost as if we are a piece of code. That's the only thing I can really think of, but even then, I'm still sort of like, yeah, I just can't believe we're in a simulation. There's just no feasible, argumentative way of how we could be. There's too many variables for a single intelligent being to ever program, create, because the numbers of things they would have to control at one singular time, let alone our planet, the universe, everything that's in it, every molecule, grain, piece of bacteria, every single cell. It's just too high of a number of objects essentially to render inside of a computer. And somebody had created all those and programmed them into it, and that's how everything runs off this. It's just not feasible. It's just not.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm pretty sure, in my honest opinion, you may have a different opinion, but in my honest opinion, we are not in a simulation. I think it's just conspiracy, people wanting it to be real, people looking at the possibility of what if it was real and wishing for it a bit too much, thinking like it would be like the Matrix, you know.
Right.
But it's not, because we're not in one.
Yeah, I agree. I think people want it to be real.
Yeah.
So,
And
but I mean, if people want to believe that, you believe it all you want.
yeah,
I think the facts speak for themselves. Um,
yeah,
I'm the great try. I tried to debunk, and I'm the great debunker of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, that's how
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion and beliefs. We're not trying to tell you what to believe. We've given our side. You may have a different side. And if you do have a different side, let us know why. Why do you think? What reasons do you think we are in a simulation? What arguments would you have that we are definitely in one? Let us know. Um, and if we actually think that, yeah, that's definitely something that could be a valid argument, I mean, how would mention it? You know? Because
right.
we're always looking at all sides of the puzzle. We're not trying to look at it for just one side. We want to see it from the other person's point of view. What do they think? What do they believe? Because everybody has a different point of view and belief on different things. So, one person might enjoy the idea, one person might be sad about the idea, but both believe that it's real, that we're in a simulation. Another person may not believe we're in a simulation. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe and have your own opinions of things. But we can just discuss our differences without needing to resort to arguments or shouting matches like so many do today. Like, people overreact because somebody has a different viewpoint than them, and it's just like, that's okay that they have a different viewpoint. You could try and talk to them and maybe suggest why you might be right. But if you start screaming at them, no one's going to want to listen to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't be worried that we'll try and shame you or something because you have a different viewpoint. No, we'll actually just have a discussion with you about it. And talk about it, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have our own minds, our own free will. And, you know, I'm happy to hear why you think it's different, because that's what discussions should be: calm discussions between two people just talking about something, because that's the way it should be talked about at the end of the day.
Right. And I mean that's what we promote on here, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we basically confirmed this thing already to be false.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I was a kid, I used to imagine that my life is just a dream. I used to think that some weird reason I was just dreaming this life and it wasn't actually real. That's what I thought when I was like 5 to 7 years old. I had it convinced in my head that that was a thing. And I guess in then sort of thing, I did kind of believe in a simulation as a child. Because I thought I was just in some big dream and I wasn't actually here. Um, So I guess in a sense that would be a simulation in my mind at that time. But as I get older, looking at things, like even when The Matrix came out, I love the Matrix movies. Like, they are fantastic movies. I've never read the book, sadly, but the movies are great. Absolutely brilliant. The concept of it is amazing and crazy. But I can't see that ever being a reality.
Right.
It's
That's kind of how
just
I
not
see it as well.
feasible.
I think the reality is just that we are here, we exist, we're conscious, right? Um, so we need to start working together and
Yeah,
explore. That's what we do. That's what humans do. We explore.
exactly.
We're humans.
We're an inquisitive
Yeah,
species.
we've never been the ones to settle, right?
Mm,
And I think that's why we have a lot of issues in today's world, is that we're all settled into our regions, right? And we all have our
right.
countries and our nationalistic pride, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? You should be proud of
Yeah,
where you come from, right? Like,
right.
you know, Aaron's over there in the UK, he's British, but I'm sure he has other heritages as well in his family other than just being British, right? I don't think he's
Yeah.
100% British, right? He's probably has some Irish, some Scottish, some German or whatever have you, right?
Viking, even.
Viking, yeah,
I could,
even, right?
uh,
So like my family, right? I believe we have a little bit of, very little bit of Jewish, German, French, Italian, Irish, British, Scottish, all these different heritages. But I'm from the United States, right? So to me, out of all
yeah,
my heritages, right, I'm American. That's who I am,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And I'm very proud to be an American, right? I know it's a song
right.
very cliche, but I am. I'm proud of that, right? I'm sure Aaron's very proud to be British or English,
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that I'm British, yeah.
Right. See, so
Um,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but at the end of the day, we all need to recognize we're still all humans regardless, right? And we can have our pride in our
exactly.
country and our pride that we're, from wherever, but that we all still need to work together, right? And
Exactly.
and and
Ru-
and do what humans do best. We're nomadic species, right? We travel, right? And that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
get my point across, right? My mom's side of the
We,
Irish, my mom's side of the family is predominantly Irish, whereas my dad's is predominantly Sicilian Italian, right?
yeah.
And uh, you know, I'm proud of my heritage as well, but they traveled across the Atlantic to the United States. They traveled is the key
Yeah.
word, traveled, right? We're nomadic. That's what we do as a human species. We move, we travel, we do whatever,
Yeah, we
right?
migrate, we go to different places.
Right. So when we work together, we can also explore our final frontier, which is space,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you know, I'm not better than you because I'm British. You're not better than me because you're American. We're all human beings. No one's better than the other. And we keep putting ourselves in our own little boxes. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. I believe in this. So this is the way it is, whether you like it or not. Like, everybody's got their own little box. But if we remove the box and think of us as a whole, you're a fellow human being just like me. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter where you're from, what skin tone you are, how you were brought up, how rich you are, how poor you are. You are a human being just like me, and that does not make me better than you just because I'm from a particular place. My beliefs don't make me a better person than you. Because at the end of the day, we're all equal. We are all human. The way society works, people are unequal. But generally, the way it should be is we are all equal. We're all the same. We all have needs
Well,
and wants
here's the
and
thing, right?
lives and loves
This
and
is
food
I'm
that we like.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate on this, right? We
Okay.
are all the same, yes, we're all human beings, right? But we're not all equal, and we never will be. And
Elaborate.
and I say that not as a form of being some sort of
Yeah.
racist or some sort of bigot or anything like that. That's not where I'm coming from with that, right? When I say we're not all
Right.
equal, I'm saying we all come from different backgrounds, right? We all come from different uh socioeconomic backgrounds. We all come from different political backgrounds. We all come from different regions, right? So
Right.
my upbringing here in America is going to be different of that of someone being brought up in the UK or Australia or Africa or China or Russia or wherever, right? My
Yeah.
upbringing is going to be different. So we're not equal. We aren't. It is what it is, right? I'm not saying that I had a great upbringing either or a bad upbringing either, right? My upbringing was decent, right? I came from my family's very poor growing up when I was growing up, right?
Yeah.
Um, and even today, my family, I wouldn't say my family's poor, but we're not rich, right?
Right.
We got out of poverty though, right?
Yeah.
My parents they struggled and worked their butts off and they're out of poverty now.
Yeah.
They're just above the poverty line. Um, and for myself, I mean, I when I first started out as a young adult, I was in the poverty line. I was in poverty. But I worked my
Yeah.
way out of it to where I'm now like I'm considered to be the lower middle class, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have handouts. I mean, my parents would help me along the way, but I always paid them back,
Yeah.
right? They would help me with some money if I needed it. I would work my butt off and I'd pay them back every single time, right?
Yeah.
My parents never gave me just a handout. It was a, hey, we're gonna help you, but you owe us
Yeah.
in return, right? And it was to teach me a value of money and a lesson. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I had a roof over my head. I've always had a roof over my head.
Mhm.
Uh, I've never, other than being in the military, had to poop outside
Right.
in a porta john kind of thing, or in the woods, right? Other than being in the military and being out in the field. I've always had a
Yeah.
toilet in my home. Uh, I've always had decent meals. Whether it be macaroni and cheese and dino nuggies, or a filet mignon steak like I had tonight. I've always had a decent meal. All right,
Yeah.
so but compared that to someone who might be in poverty in Russia or something, right? Where, they might have an outhouse, that's it. They're
Yeah.
eating whatever they can grow, right? I'm not saying that's how they live over there. I'm
Economy.
just saying,
Sorry.
someone in
Yeah.
poverty, that might be how they are over there. So we're not all equal. We're not, right?
Well.
We could be all equal. That's communism, and communism has never worked, and that's because people are tyrannical. Um, when people
Mm,
have power and you put them in positions of power, they become tyrannical. It's just our human nature. So communism will never work for that simple reason. Um,
yeah.
Again, maybe we're getting into the politics
Well.
here, but I'm gonna say it, and it might hurt some feelings, but hey, it's the
Yeah.
truth, right? I'm sorry, it's the truth, right? I'm not saying democracy is perfect or capitalism is perfect either, right? But it is currently the best system in the world as it stands right now.
Right.
Could something be better? Absolutely. Absolutely, 100. I am on board with you, commies, on that one. There could be a better situation, right? Um, it just hasn't been implemented yet.
See, but then what you're saying is you've kind of put people in a box based on wealth, so to speak. I'm talking remove boxes. So take everybody out of the box. Take a human being as a whole. Um, not what job I have, whatnot. As a actual human being, I'm not a better human being than you because I have things.
Oh
That
yeah,
doesn't make
yes,
me a better
yes, yes. We
person.
are all equal
That's
on
what
that
I'm
front.
trying to
Yes,
say
yes. I will
in
agree. We
terms
are.
of equality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
in society,
our
what
God-given
you're
rights.
saying is the reality of what's going
Yes.
on.
So there's your God-given rights as a human being that you are born and you are destined to have your free will, essentially. Yes,
Yeah,
and I agree with that on all front. But again, in the reality of the world, we are not equal on that front either because other places around the world will put you down for that.
yeah,
They will unalive you for speaking that way,
yeah,
and it's unfortunate, but that's why we're not equal,
right,
and that's the reality of it.
yeah.
As much as I would love for everyone to have a clean slate and an equal start. That would be the most amazing thing in the
Oh
world.
yeah,
But
it
and
really
that's
would.
not a reality, and it will never ever be a reality.
No,
I think humans will become far extinct before that ever becomes a reality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's unfortunate.
We're gonna destroy ourselves. And honestly, in a way, we're also not gonna destroy ourselves.
So I've
Because what I mean by that is, we're not gonna destroy
so
it. It's gonna be
I
the
have a
silly
theory.
person who's got a happy over potentially destroying another
So
country
here's my theory, right? Humans
using a nuke.
humans are the cockroaches of mammals.
Right.
Right, cockroaches
We
obviously
consume
are
everything.
insects, bugs, whatever.
We consume, we
They sur-
destroy everything.
cockroaches survive anything and everything, right?
Hmm.
Humans are the same way. If we nuke ourselves, we're gonna survive. There will be a pocket of humans somewhere that will survive. Somewhere, probably
Oh
multiple
yeah,
places.
somewhere.
Multiple places. They will survive. They will eventually
Yeah.
rebuild. Right? That's just who we are. We're resilient creatures, and
But what I'm saying is, it's not us that has destroyed ourselves. It's the people that chose to release the nukes who destroyed
mhm.
us.
So
Because
I'm
we're
not gonna
not sat there,
if I can, I'm gonna
like,
go a little bit I don't want to say biblical, but it is in a way.
right,
It's not biblical, it's more ancient history, but it is biblical
mm,
times, right? Rome, right?
okay,
Uh
yeah,
so when Rome was first forming, right, when it was the Roman Republic and not the Roman Empire, right? That they had a Senate that was in charge based off elected officials, very similar to what the United States government is or the UK Parliament, right?
right,
That's what their system of government was, right? The men would vote in these people to be representatives of the republic, right?
right,
Um, well, whenever these representatives, sucked like they do throughout history, including in today's world, right?
yeah,
Our representatives all suck because they don't listen to you, the people. They do what they want, not
no,
what you want. Rome had a system
yeah,
in place, right? And this is where the term comes from, dictator, right?
right,
The Senate would elect a dictator into office, meaning they could overrule the Senate, right? They were in
right,
complete control of the republic. Now the condition was they're in office as a dictator for I forgot how many years it was, right? But they had X amount of years to fix the country, fix the
right,
republic, right? And they would fix the republic, and if they fixed it before that term, they had to step down as being dictator, and they did.
yeah,
They did it. Right? So when we think of dictator, we think of Mussolini, Hitler, people like them, right? These evil
mm,
people. Dictators were not evil. Dictators were good people that wanted to fix the country and get it on the right track, and then they would step down from power. And if they
right,
did try not to step down from power, which there were a few, they were forcibly removed from power by the Senate and
yeah,
by the people.
mm,
And usually it was a death sentence
yeah,
if you refused to step down. So I'm not saying America should be a dictatorship, but I'm not saying it shouldn't be at this point. Maybe other countries around the world too, we should do something like what the Romans did. Because we need some fixing ASAP.
mm.
Because
The
the way that
problem
we're going
is,
right now, the world's about to enter World War III, I think. I think we're right there on the verge of it.
no one's gonna fix the world because you got too many power hungry people, people that want things from other places, and they're like a plague of locusts, trying to consume each other, trying to prove they're better than each other. Um, countries going to war with other countries over silly things. And it's not us that's choosing to go to war, it's these people in power that are doing so. And they're not focusing on fixing the country, they're trying to look for how they can make it benefit them. Rather than the good of the people and sorting out everybody and making life good again. It's more about lining their
So,
pockets than it is about helping the
all right,
actual
we're
general
not quite
people.
on the off-topic hour yet, but we'll go back into that. But
Yeah.
I just want to get us back on track here. Um,
Mm.
as far as simulations go, the simulation that we're living in though is the one that the government created for us.
Oh, yeah.
It's a system, right?
Yeah.
That is the simulation that we're living in. It's broadcasted by the mainstream media.
Yeah.
If you're listening to mainstream media and you believe everything they said, you're probably one of the brainwashed. And there
Yeah.
was a recent poll that was done.
I mean,
I forgot who did the poll. Let me see if I can't find it. Um,
yeah.
real quick here.
I mean, in school, they oh, my man's just lost it. It was on the tip of my
Okay,
tongue.
right here.
Go.
I got the poll. It was done by Gallup. Gallup. Gallup did the poll, right?
Yeah.
As of 2022, 34% of people in America, right? This is an American poll, believe the mainstream media. 34% of y'all out there believe that the mainstream media is telling the truth. 38% said no, not at all. 28% said not very much. They trust a few things, but not everything on there.
I mean, from when you're a child, you're made to go to school, right? And the thing is with school is you're taught basic things in order to get a job. You're not taught how to make money.
Oh, not here in America.
No, you're taught to get a job.
Not here in America. Nope.
No, I mean in the sense of they're teaching you so you will become a worker. You will have to get a job.
So the things
with what you learn
in
from
American
school
education,
to a degree.
I don't know what about England. I can't speak for that, but in America, right, you have your basic subjects all throughout your 12 years of schooling, right? Your typical 12 years of schooling, right? You have your math, you have your history, you have your English lessons, which is not speaking English, by the way. If you're watching for a foreign country, English is like your where to place a comma, where to place a period, proper grammar.
How to write.
Yeah, how to write. That's what
grammar.
English is. So you have that, and then you have science. Science, history, math, English. Those are the 4 core subjects that are taught in the American school system, K through 12, right?
And how much do you use science?
I have never
in work.
I have never used anything for science in a work field ever.
Right.
History, same thing. I've never used history in my work field except for military history when I'm quizzing my soldiers when I was in the military.
Yeah.
Or because I liked the subject, I'd learn about history and I would teach and educate some people about history that were willing to listen. Math, as far as like algebra and stuff, never used it. Never used algebra, never used trigonometry, never used any of that kind of stuff ever in my life. The most I've ever done is adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying.
Right.
That's about it. And most of it revolves around money. Well, I've had 0 classes on money. 0.
Yeah, but from your child, you're told to go to school so you can learn basic skills.
Now, English.
So you can become a workhorse.
English, I think, out of those 4 core subjects, English was the most important.
Oh yeah.
Learning how to be grammatically correct was the most important. And I'm still not even the most grammatically correct, but I try.
Yeah.
Right. Especially nowadays, I try to be more articulate. With how I write and how I talk, you know. Even though I'm not. I'm very you know, Southern ghetto, I guess you could say. But yeah, no, I don't trust the mainstream media at all. I'm one of those 38%, I think it was, that don't trust them at all. I trust independent news sources more than I trust that, and even them, I do my research and I learn for myself if they're telling the truth or not. That's how I get my news sources. So I don't trust that stuff at all. That, and I also know certain people around the world. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any contacts, but I know some people over in Ukraine right now, and they know exactly what's going on because they're there. They're living it, and I'm not talking about civilians, soldiers, you know, that are on the front lines right now, and I have communication with them, and I know what's going on. I know what is going on the front lines, and it's not being reported on the mainstream media. So there you go.
It won't be.
Me right now saying that, if they're not reporting it, they're lying. That's a lie. If you are not reporting the news and you're hiding it, that you're lying to the public. You're lying to the public.
Yep.
So I would not trust them. Do your own independent research. Trust. You know, we have a saying in the military: trust but verify.
Yeah.
And if you verify and you find out that that information was false, then hey, now you know. Don't trust that source ever again.
And on top of that, for those of you that don't know, when it comes to YouTubers, so YouTubers, there are a bunch of news channels out there who cover things. And they will sometimes talk about these topics that the mainstream media will not talk about. Well, all the mainstream medias have got together and basically formed a group specifically for trying to shut down those independent news creators so they get all of the traffic.
Yes, and I do know one I watch. There is a YouTube. Well, he does a lot of streaming and podcasting, and YouTubing as well. Um, I don't know if I should call him out on there. I mean, he is very popular.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people have already heard of him, so I won't say it. I won't say it. But there was one I watch, and he actually just did a podcast about that too, where they tried to shut him up. Um, and he's not going to. So basically,
Yeah.
he said straight up, "You have to bury me 6 feet for me to shut up." And I trust his news source because everything is that I've verified all of the information that he's ever put out, and it's all 100% accurate. So great journalism on his part. And I'm not gonna call his name out because I don't want to put more attention on him than or negative attention on him.
Yeah. I
I
don't know if you. I just messaged you. Is it the same thing I'm thinking of, or are you thinking about somebody else?
think that's how you spell his name. Hold on. No, it's a different person.
All right. Well, I listened to this guy, and he also talks about many things.
But
Talks
yes,
about big tech
I do listen
companies
to that one him as well.
and all sorts. And they got somebody to make up false allegations against him, and UK government got involved, telling YouTube to demonetize his channel.
Yeah.
The government got involved to try and silence him.
Clear violation of freedom of speech.
Yep.
And here's the thing too, right? Just because if there's some misinformation or someone lies too, that doesn't mean that they're violating freedom of speech on that part, right? You're allowed to lie,
Yep.
right? That's your freedom of speech is to lie if you want,
Right.
right? But as a news source, you have a moral obligation to tell the truth, and the
Oh
mainstream
yeah.
media has been anything but that.
And they're
But
attacking those that do, and
and to me that
trying to
that
shut them
and the
up.
reason why I'm talking about this and governments and stuff is because that's the simulation I believe that we're living in, right? It's all
Oh yeah.
it's all a system that we're brainwashed to believe, and that's keeping us brainwashed and pitted against each other is the simulation.
Yeah.
That
Because
that's
if we're
that's
all
where I'm
too,
full circling this with this whole segment here is that's the simulation, guys.
yeah,
It's not a computer
it's
simulation. It's a real world simulation created by the governments and the elites of the world. I think one of the companies there is like BlackRock or something. They own like everything.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they own YouTube
it's
and
like
Twitch and probably everything else. But um, they basically own everything, guys. They own all the media. They own
yeah,
Fox, CNN, all of it. And
yeah, the
you know,
elites.
so if they're controlling both sides of the narrative, can you really trust it?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean it's like Tom McDonald said. They want us all fighting with our neighbours because if we banded together, they know we go against them. They want us keeping infighting. They want to keep us busy, distracted with each other, hating each other, fighting each other,
yeah.
instead of taking those who should be held
So that brings me
accountable
to the part
and
where
doing something about it.
I say I think we're on the verge of World War III, right? And I'm gonna say
I think
this.
there's going to be civil wars
So
in some places, you
I'm gonna
know?
say this online. This might get me in trouble. I don't know, but this has been my theory and my belief as to what's going on in the world right now. And
Right.
I need, part of this platform was for me to get like just to talk about topics of like paranormal and stuff like that and
Yeah.
phenomenons, but it's also to get my voice out, right? That's why I
Right.
started this, and I brought Aaron along on board with me as as a co-host, and I'm his co-host today. But I gotta say
Yeah.
this, man. I gotta say this to somebody. My belief in what's happening in the world right now. All right, Ukraine is at war with Russia right now, and Russia against
Yeah.
Ukraine right now. And the reason being is because of the United States of America, right? The United States has been
Right.
funneling money into Ukraine, right? Unconfirmed reports right now, but they're under investigation, the Biden family, as to
Yeah.
dirty money coming from Ukraine going straight into their bank accounts, right?
Mm.
I think Ukraine is just a giant money laundering operation for the Biden family. Uh,
Right.
Now, again, I'm not confirming none of this. This is just my theories,
Mm.
right? I'm gonna make that. God, I don't want to quote Biden, but perfectly clear. Let me be perfectly clear. Yeah. Okay. As he always says, right? This is my theory, not fact right now, right? But I think
Yeah.
Ukraine is a giant money laundering. They're throwing taxpayer money into Ukraine. Ukraine's doing it whatever with it, turning it into clean money and sending it back to the Biden family. That's why he keeps
Right.
requesting us to send more money to Ukraine because he wants more money, right? That's what I think it is. Russia's trying to stop all this.
Right.
Is Russia the bad guys in this situation? Maybe a little bit because they're killing civilians too. But I don't think
Yeah.
they're completely the bad guys in this situation. I think Ukraine and America are the bad guys in this situation more than
So
Russia.
being orchestrated,
And
basically.
remember, like I said, I'm a very proud American. I love my country, but we are the bad guys in this situation. 100% we are.
Right.
Right? We did this to Ukraine, not Russia. Remember that.
Right.
Number two, Israel and Palestine. Right? Ooh, touchy subject. Don't touch it. Right? No, I'm gonna touch it. Uh, Palestinians want the territory. It's not about religion, right? Palestinians claim it's their land. Israel claims it's their land. Honestly, I'm gonna throw this one at you, Aaron. You're British. It's your country's fuck up. Not you, but your country's fuck up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm cursing, but
Yeah.
I got a little mad. All right.
Watch it.
I'll have to bleep
Yeah.
myself out later. So
Yeah.
this YouTube video might get posted a little bit later. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's the UK's mess up. Um, so with that being said, yeah, it's oh god, it's a whole messy situation over there. The UK basically separated the land. They promised the Jewish and the Palestinians both land essentially if they helped them in World War One. Fast forwarding, yada 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 to what we have today. Right now we have an Israeli state, or a Jewish state in Israel, and a Palestinian. I guess they're not really a state, but they are. Um,
Yeah.
and all this is going on, right? Uh, in this side, do I feel for Palestinian citizens that don't have anything to do with Hamas? Absolutely. I feel for them, and my thoughts and prayers go out to them. However,
Mm.
I am pro Israel. I think that it is officially and rightfully their land as they have won it in war. Not only was it given to them, but they won it and solidified that claim through war. Sorry, Palestine, you
Mm.
have no rights to that land. That's how I feel on that. I could be wrong, whatever. I don't care. That's my belief,
Right.
and I will firmly stand on that ground. Um, just like America took the land from the natives here, we won it in wars. No one disputes the land claims of America, so there shouldn't be any dispute over the land claims of Israel. Um,
Right.
also, Israel's not the one that's targeting civilians. They're at least trying not to. Um,
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the United States sent two aircraft carriers with about 4,000 Marines on board between the two of them over to the Middle East over there near Israel, ready to deploy in. Along with that, they got the 82nd Airborne on standby, ready to go in as well. Um,
Right.
we just got a Speaker of the House for Congress. I think it's got to go through the Senate still. But once
Yeah.
that gets approved, we'll have a Speaker of the House. You need that in order to declare war. America's about to go to war, folks.
Right.
It's about to happen. We're about to go. This is about to kick off World War III. We're literally on the verge of it right now, and
Right.
everyone is putting on their blinders. Biden just said straight up today they revised the Selective Service Act. If you don't know what Selective Service is, that's the draft, people. He just revised it.
Yeah.
Yesterday actually. Yesterday he just revised it. Um, yeah. So there it is. World War III is right around the corner. We're about to go. Um, For those of you that haven't served and are in that age range, may God have mercy on your souls. You
Right.
can say you're not going to go and you'll try and dodge it. Good luck. Good luck. 'Cause they're not going to put you in a nice little prison where you're going to get 3 hots in the cot. No, you're going to go to like a federal internment camp, and then they're probably going to put you into a company anyways and send you off to war from there anyhow.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to flee up to Canada. Good luck, because Canada's going to get dragged into this.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go to
And
Mexico. Mexico's gonna get dragged into this. Why? Because they won't close their border.
my country's going to get dragged into this because we're allied with the United States.
Yep. So
We've always been allies.
I'm just saying, no matter where you try and flee off to, they're gonna get you.
Yeah.
So that's the harsh reality here. Those are my theories. I think it's imminent. I think we're probably within weeks of going to war, and it's gonna start a world war.
Right.
I'll hold down the home front for you guys. I've already served, so I did my time.
Yeah.
I'm not going back in to go fight a war I don't believe in. I will hold down the home
No.
front here, and may God have mercy on my soul if a nuke comes our way.
Right.
So
Yeah. I don't believe in the war. I don't want to go to war. I'm not dying for these people. You know, I'm not dying for these people out on some battlefield killing people because some countries got trigger happy and decided that they want to go to war for whatever reason, that they're trying to benefit from it. Like, why should I have to die for that?
And that's how a lot of people feel, but that's not the reality. The reality is they're gonna take you anyways.
Yeah.
Regardless against your will. And I mean it's sad, but that's the reality. So again, um, you know, pray for you guys. Hope the best for you guys, but this is where we're at in the world. This is my thoughts and theories. It's what I have to say on that.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. We can have our disagreements, but this is I follow geopolitics very closely. Despite what I talk about for my channel here, or for our channel here, despite what we talk about, I follow it very, very closely. I am a history major. I look at history and I look at the modern day, and this is what I see happening. This is going to be a war like no one has ever seen before. And I'm not talking about because we have nukes. I'm talking about because we have weaponry that is so advanced, it scares the living daylights out of me.
Mm.
The fact that an enemy, you know, could kill me from Moscow, sitting in my room here tonight.
Yeah.
With a drone. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
China's launching these air balloons that have attachments where they could put missiles on. You know, people think, oh, air balloons, ha ha ha. It's funny because it's such a low tech thing. No, yeah, but you can stick some high tech stuff on them.
Yeah.
Right? Look, it worked in World War One, and clearly it's working today because it was almost undetectable on our radars.
Yeah.
So, is it really stupid if it works?
Right.
So, that's what makes me scared about today's world, man. I don't know. My rant's done. I'm
Yeah.
kind of exhausted from that.
Yeah.
But I'm very saddened. I had to say something, man. Like I had to get my thoughts out because this has been on my mind for months now. All this information. And I've been holding it back because
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is a proper platform for it. But I have to say it, man. It's just this world's gone crazy. This world's gone absolutely crazy. Not just the government, but the people, because they're on board with all this. It's sad. It's just sad. Like, I've never been to war, but I don't ever want to go.
Right.
Why do these people want to go? It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then you got these Gen Z kids that are like, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna draft dodge, and it's like, well, you know, you voted for this. You wanted this.
Right.
You accept those consequences. That's how I feel. You accept your consequences. If you didn't vote for this, and you were probably one of the good ones that didn't vote for Biden, I'm not saying Trump was the better option either, but I'm saying if you didn't vote for Biden and you're getting dragged into this, then I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you because this is what you have to live with now. God, this country.
Mm.
Used to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, and now it's the home of the wussies and the land of the. I don't know anymore, man. This country's gone straight to hell.
Yeah.
This isn't the America I grew up in.
Right.
Now I'm sounding like a 60-year-old boomer. But
Hey, boomer.
but it's true. It's true. This
Yeah.
isn't the America I grew up in. The army that
No.
I joined in 2014 in the army, and it's not the same army. It's part of the reason I got out. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't stand this ideology here that they were portraying anymore. I was like, this isn't. I joined to defend my country and support my country, not to appease people.
Right.
I'm sorry, why do I gotta treat you differently because you're a trans in the army? That makes no sense. Can you pick up a rifle and can you shoot? Okay, then you're the same as me.
Right.
I don't care if you're trans or if you're a woman or if you're gay or you're black or you're white or you're Asian. I don't care. I do not care. Can you pick up that rifle and can you shoot and kill the enemy? That's what I cared about in the army. And we've gotten away from that.
Right.
Now we got into, oh, you have to cater to this person because they're trans or because they're black or because they're gay or because they're Asian or white or whatever, right? No, screw that. I'm not catering to you because of what you are, what you look like. I judge you by the moral of your character, and if you can
Right.
stand beside me and defend me as I defend you.
Right.
That's the definition of brotherhood slash sisterhood, or transhood, or whatever you want to call it. That you get what I'm saying, though. That's the definition of it, and the army is not that anymore. It got to the point where I could
Right.
look to the guy to my left and to my right, or the girl, or trans, or whoever to my left and to my right. I'm gonna say guy for all intents and purposes, inclusive of everyone. Um, I could look to him to my left and to my right, and I didn't trust him to pick up a rifle and shoot for me. I felt like if I was to go to war with these people, I would get killed because I'd be the only one shooting, and that scared me. My last good team I had was when I was at Fort Carson in Colorado. Fantastic group of soldiers I had there. Because I quote unquote died in a simulated fight that we did, and they called for 9-line medevac, returned fire, kept trying to reassure me even though I was technically dead. They did everything right, and it gave me a proud dad moment to know that they were gonna make it in a war zone, even if I didn't.
Right.
And that I trained them well enough to do that.
Right.
Sorry, I'm getting emotional now. But yeah, that was the last team I had that I can say without a doubt I would trust them.
Right.
Man, we already talked all the way up to where our break's supposed to end. So how do you want
Yeah.
to play this?
I don't know what else there is. I mean, we got another hour left, or we done?
We have another hour, but how do you want to do it?
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, we could talk about things. Unfortunately, these people that are going to be sending us to war don't care about us. They don't care about our lives, our families. All they care about is what they get out of it. Because you're not going to see Biden on the front lines fighting against the enemy. It's going to be us on the lines fighting against the enemy while he sits back nice and safe.
Yeah.
And so, for them, there's no real loss to them. Really, because they don't lose anything in the process. We do. We lose our sons, our daughters, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers. We lose everybody to war.
Right.
While the people that want the war are just sat there watching it all happen while they sit in their ivory tower, so to speak, and not have to worry about the consequences.
Right. Oh, trust me.
And sadly, that's just
I
how
may
it
not have been
is.
to war, but I know about war. I mean, I lost my best friend, my brother, over there. So
Yeah.
I'm all too familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we hit the topic pretty well. If you want to recap.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of on off-topic hour now. I know we've kind of already been doing off-topic, but at the end of the day, that's the current discussion that's going on, and definitely be interesting to carry it on.
Yeah. Did you want to end it early or?
Say we could end it there.
Okay. All right.
Honestly.
So, go ahead. You can do your little outro here, and I'll just fill in later on.
So we are gonna bring the stream to a close. Remember, we do stream live every other Tuesday or Wednesday, 5 p.m. US Eastern, 10 p.m. UK time. Next week we'll be doing a Halloween 2-part special. We're doing a special in the day at 12 p.m. US Eastern and 5 p.m. UK time. We'll be discussing ghost stories, paranormal experiences. I'll be talking about some of my mum's experiences when she did Ouija boards when she was a kid. So we're gonna have some very spooky stories to talk about. Then at the usual time, 10 p.m. UK time and 5 p.m. US time, we will be doing part 2, which will be actually the official podcast, which will be getting uploaded to YouTube. The first half will not. We will be playing Phasmophobia on the first half, so you don't want to miss that. Very spooky game, in spirit of Halloween and whatnot. But the second half will be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. We'll be discussing the paranormal itself. Rather than telling stories, we'll be actually discussing the topic of the paranormal and ghosts and poltergeists and things of that nature. So you do not want to miss that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like on the video, leave a dislike. If you dislike it, tell us why you disliked it. We can only improve with your feedback. Also, join the Discord. Come and have a conversation with us. Talk about some of these topics with us. Hell, you could even possibly come on the show with us and actually have a discussion. So, get on into the Discord. It'd be a wonderful place to be once you're all in there with us.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much sums everything up. So, we'll see you guys on Halloween.
Yeah. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday. No, Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Wednesday, innit? Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Yeah, my brain. Right, Tuesday.
All right.
My bad.
Adios.
All right, take it easy.